What's up, board fam? When I tell you that I feel so vindicated right now, I am not kidding. I'm not being hyperbolic. I honestly feel like I feel a little bit of validation. And the reason why is because for months now, maybe even for years, I have been dissecting and doing wellness checks on a lot of the Chud channels, a lot of the anti-woke culture war slop channels. And I've been pointing out to you guys that they are underperforming. They're not doing well. I've been pointing this out using math, looking into reality and saying, all you have to do is look at them year to year, look at their video views versus their subscriber amounts to figure out if their channel's doing well. You look at that and you can tell. I don't need to look at like Social Blade or graphs or anything like that. I have been saying for a long time now that these channels are not doing well. And here we have a clip from Katie's channel from the Quartering, Jeremy the Quartering. Quartering puts Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Yellow Flash on blast as dead culture war channels. And this is it. This is the moment. Now, I want to put this out there before we watch this video. The Quartering is a garbage person, in my opinion, and in many people's opinion. He's a garbage person, and anytime he's giving an opinion, something subjective, it's usually bullshit. Okay, I just want to put that out there. However, looking at the numbers, looking at the state of the space on YouTube with this culture war stuff, looking at the graphs, looking at the charts, doing math, there's no disputing it. And in this video, he's talking anecdotally and candidly about his own content. So he's saying this about himself. So I feel it's glorious. This is glorious. I love to see this. So let's watch the Quartering. I know a lot of people don't like him. I get it. But let's watch him and hear what he has to say. Now, there's going to be another video today with me reacting to the Geeks and Gamers and Fandom Menace response to this. And we'll talk more about that when we get there. But let's hear what Jeremy Quartering has to say about his channel and about these other channels. Before I hit play, I want to let you guys know there's not a lot of debunking here because he's not stating opinions for a lot of this. He's giving out information. If there is something here worth debunking, I will totally do it. But I don't think that's what it's going to be. This is going to be more of like a validation video for us to watch to show that what I've been saying and what we've been talking about is true.
We've taken down Christmas. It's time to get back to work. It is time. We must be about the work. Is really what we have to do.
Why is that? Why is that, Jeremy?
That's what we're gonna do. I sure hope working through the holidays pays off. Hopefully, we get some, some sort of bump in regular viewers once everybody's back to the kind of the regular schedule. Otherwise, next year, I'm gonna take a vacation.
15 minutes later.
Now, I want to let you guys know, if you are a YouTube content creator, you're somebody that understands the YouTube system, the end of the year, between October and December, are the biggest money months for YouTube creators. Ad revenue is really high. It's at its highest in that period of time. There's a couple of months in the middle of the year, some parts towards the end of the summer, and then in the spring, a little time, a little bit of time that the money goes up. But typically, the biggest time of the year for revenue, if you're trying to make money on YouTube, is the end of the year. Most YouTubers with large channels make their whole year at the end of the year. You stockpile that money because that's when you're going to see it. It's not even about channel paid subscribers. It's not about super chats. It's not about any of that. It's strictly ad revenue on your content goes up at the end of the year. I just want to put that out there so you guys understand.
I don't even want to listen to your gobbledygook. Speak English. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below. We'll talk to you again real soon. Gruffy also, thanks for the stream, Jeremy. Glad you work hard, but take time off when you need it. Appreciate it. Burnout is real. You're appreciated. Thank you. You know what's crazy about the burnout thing? I was telling my wife, like, I legitimately am experiencing burnout. December was like the most difficult month of the 10 years that I've been doing all of this.
Keep that in mind, right? These guys, 10 years, that's about the average life of these grifty channels. It's been about a decade. So we're going all the way back to like Ghostbusters 2016. That was kind of when a lot of the channels started to really amp up on this. And then COVID, catapulted a lot of these channels into the systems they're in now, into the places they're in now. So about 10 years, he's saying that, this is the roughest.
Like, it's just been extremely, like, soul crushing because, like, it wasn't just that the news cycle was weird. It was like the YouTube channel was not performing well. There's just all sorts of, new things to have to overcome in November and December. Like, normally November and December are like top earning months. That's when you get to coast and enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, that's true.
But not this year, sir. Aura. Not this year. Which you guys don't have to see. This year, it was like December was my worst month of the year.
Ouch. That's bad. I can't really explain to you guys how bad it is for a YouTuber to have a December that is their worst month. First of all, it's almost unbelievable, but it's also incredibly difficult to have what is arguably the biggest month for YouTubers be your worst month. So that's more than just ad revenue. That's something else entirely. And I do want to talk a little bit about some of the changes to the way news and media is being pushed out there. I do want to talk about that. I think it's important, but I'm going to let him talk a little bit more.
And had to make some real tough, staffing decisions, financial decisions, things like that. And it was making it all feel like, man, I just want to go back to just being me with my webcam again. Life was so much simpler then, It was like no employees.
Right.
If I had a bad month, it was okay because I had,
it's just you.
Money.
Right. It's just you.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, as I've said this many, many times, again, validation. I feel so validated when someone who makes this kind of slop content comes out and just admits this, because I get a lot of comments, and this isn't going to shock anybody who's been around this neighborhood for a while, of people challenging my objective information on this. All of the objective things that I've said. These guys have channels with employees and a lot of folks working behind the scenes to make it work the way it does, to make it flow the way it does, to make everything feel so fucking seamless and on schedule. They have a team of people working for them. I don't know anybody who I have done content with that has a team of people working for them. Maybe they have like someone doing their thumbnails, or maybe they have somebody helping them with editing. But overall, it's mostly just them making their content. That is not the case for these guys. They're getting flooded with money from places outside of YouTube, or at least they used to before Trump was reelected. They were getting flooded with money from people that allowed them to beef up the infrastructure of their channels. And now that's gone. Now they're trying to survive on the same system that we're using, the same one that we're on. And it's not enough for them to support an entire staff of people. Again, validation, proving me right.
Oh, I didn't have big payroll to worry about. So it was like, whatever, no big deal. Bad month, that's all right. But then once I had 8 employees, I was like, you sounded like Tim. Why? Am I having a meltdown on a live stream? Well, I guess I am on a live stream, but I wouldn't say this is a meltdown.
I mean, it's a not a total meltdown, for like a 30% meltdown. You're getting there. Because I think the truth is, how bad this is, how dire this situation is, and you're not really expressing it entirely to your audience. I don't think you should. I don't think it's a good look to have an entire crash out on stream about your situation. I don't think it's good. I think it looks bad for you as a content creator to literally crash out and have a total meltdown over your financial situation. I think it's bad. But these guys are all about the financial shit. That's what they're doing this for. So for them, it's not a lot out there. It's not a lot of meat out there for them to do what they're doing if the money's not good. Which again, validation. Everything I've been saying.
Your channel stumbled when you pivoted from culture war to straight politics. That's just not true. The channel stumbled when culture war topics died. If you look, like I've spent the last like 3 months going through the analytics. I understand where I need to go in 2026.
Not culture war.
The culture war content is dead.
Yep.
Like if you go and look at all the channels that were producing videos at the same time I was over the last year, right? We were all killing it.
Right.
Like the last, I don't want to call out anybody's name, right? Like,
so I want to just jump in here for a second. You were killing it for a couple reasons. One, the victim card. All of these channels, while they were growing, were also pretending to be the victims of something. And the victim mentality, the victim complex that they had really helped their channels grow. Secondly, they were getting paid good money from who knows where to grow their channels. A lot of their stuff was artificially inflated, which is why a lot of their subscribers are dead now. There's a lot of dead subs on these channels. The reason why is because, and I'm not saying that they did, I'm not saying that Quartering or, Nerdrotic or whatever paid for subscribers. I'm not saying that they did it. I'm not making that accusation. They certainly could have. I don't know if they did. They could have. But it's more than likely that they had some person with an interest in their content being inflated, that they did it. And they also walked away. So they've got these dead subs that aren't really watching their videos. They have the pockets are no longer being deepened by these folks outside of the space. They're not getting the super chats, the $500, $1,000 super chats they used to get. All of that is gone because they were being used. These guys were being used in the culture war. They are not the people leading the charge. They're the pawns. And they've always been the pawns. They're the ones that are doing all of the grunt work for the people who are doing big shit behind the scenes. The people who are really pulling strings. These guys were just puppets in all of that. And now it's the fuck around and find out time for them. They fucked around. They went all in on the culture war shit. They've turned their entire channels into culture war shit. And when the culture war shit goes away, guess what happens to their channels? Guess what happens? This is what happens.
because I don't want to like put anyone on blast, but just the whole space is dead now. You used to be able to be Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotic would beg to differ. I mean, do you want me to pull up their statistics? And
he knows it. He knows it. At this moment, he's already done the work. The thing about Jeremy, as much as I dislike this fuck, as gross as he is and as fucking awful as he is, he does pay attention to his channel, the health of his channel, and what other people are doing in his space, because he is one of those people that has openly talked about this in the past. He's been very, again, candid. He's been very forthcoming about it. He's talked about this. He's laid it all out for us and said, look, this is what I'm dealing with. This is my financial situation. For better or worse, he's done this. We've covered it on the channel. I've done videos where I've watched him talk about this. So he knows. He knows. Like, just like I know, just like I do this and I keep up with these guys, he certainly knows. He has no reason to lie about this. Like, we talk about things he lies about. There's a lot of things that Quartering can lie about. This one, there's absolutely no reason to do it. There's no reason for him to make this up.
Pull up a channel like Yellow Flash and you know, a lot of these like mid-tier culture war channels. They're all dead. Yeah. They're all dead. And you could say Nerdrotic is quote unquote killing it, but I doubt the data would support.
He's not. I've already looked at this.
We really want to. I don't want to put him on blast. I like Gary, but the whole space is just not what it used to be. This is a channel like last year. This time was gaining 40,000 subscribers a month, 13,000, 40,000. And look at this entire year. I mean, don't like if you want to question me on anything. There's a lot of things I'm not an expert on, but like analytics and YouTube, I'm very good at.
I believe him. This might be the first time I've ever said that. I believe him. I do think he is. I think he does pay attention to this stuff. You don't get to the level of success with this kind of slop content without at least understanding how to game the system. And in order to game the system, you have to understand how the system works. And I've said this about all these guys. If I have to give any of them credit, it's their ability to actually manipulate and use the system in a twisted way for themselves. I will always say that. I will never, ever deny that these guys understand how to work the system. Matter of fact, a lot of the people in my space have had to tweak what we do to follow them down that pipeline to get into that pipeline in the system they're in. We've had to do this. There's no big secret on that. At least not from my end, there's no secret on that. So I believe him. I believe that he knows these things. He's being honest here.
This entire year, Nerdrotic has gained 50,000 subscribers this entire year. Last year he gained, way more. And if we look at views, look at this. Go back to 2024, 8 million, 7 million, 8 million November, right? Here he is in November last year, 8 million. How do you do in November of this year?
Of 2025, you mean? Not 2025.
3.6 million.
Yeah.
Down more than 50%.
And this lines up with the math from my videos. You guys know I've made videos about this. This lines up perfectly with the math from my video. It's almost exactly the numbers that I got. And I was doing rough math based on blocks of months. Like I would look at 3 months worth of videos and then get the average on that and then compare it to subscribers and all of that. I would do all the math myself. But this pretty much lines up with what I said.
Same is true for my channel.
Yeah.
The same is true for my channel. Everybody in this space is down about 50%. Everybody.
At least. At least. Most of them are worse than that, but at least 50%.
He had 2.6 million views this December. Go back to last December. 6 million views. So he's down like 60% in December.
Yeah.
So why would you tell me like YouTube analytics are not very trustworthy? Are you on crack? It's the only analytics that matter.
Yeah. That's, again, he's right. I hate to say that because I think he's a piece of shit, but he's absolutely right. These analytics have to be right because it's what channels use to change their format, to change their content, to reach out to people, to do business deals and stuff. They need this information. It has to be accurate. It has to be. And the reason why it has to be is because people that are getting paid through YouTube file taxes and all of this stuff has to line up. It has to be real. Their analytics have to be as close as possible to what they are. Like, they're probably off a little bit. I would say that they could be off a little bit, but not because YouTube is fudging the numbers. That's not what's happening.
What are Crowder's numbers compared to last year? Well, that depends because this site is only really good for people who are primarily YouTube. I don't think they even share Rumble statistics. 50K.
Rumble
50K
statistics are bullshit,
so
by the way.
You said this year. You're right. You got me there. I was talking about last year. People are unplugging altogether, and like the culture war shit just isn't popular anymore.
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain because I don't know if he's going to go into it in this video, but I'm going to explain. That only works when you're not in power, right? The culture war shit worked to get everyone where they are. The Trump admin and all the different organizations out there that are pushing back and doing the anti-woke stuff. It only works to get to a certain point. And then when you get to that point, there's no reason for people to do this anymore. And I'm not talking about the average person. Of course, there's a bunch of fucking idiots on the internet that are probably still tuning in and gooning to this shit. Like, there's probably a bunch of people still doing that. But I'm talking about the people, the big time people behind the scenes that were pushing this kind of content, that were like manipulating this content. And we see that because the drop is too steep. Think about this, fam. Think about it. 60% decrease from 1 year to the next. Does that feel organic to you? Does that feel real to you? That somehow they lost 60% of their fucking, viewers and content. 60% of that dropped off from 1 year to the next. And that's just normal? All of them? All of them? Some of those numbers are organic. I would say there's a large percentage of that I believe is real. But if you're asking me, in my humble opinion, a decrease of 60%, does that feel organic to me? No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Like, can you even remember Like, I mean, YouTube's also full of AI slop.
Yes.
Who's another big? You said Geeks and Gamers. Okay.
They're also down.
I mean, I know how this is going to work out.
Yeah.
You guys, I know the numbers, right?
Yep.
You think this guy's killing it?
Look at that. Look at the flat line at the end of that. Look at the fucking flat line.
What happened?
Look at the flat
Starting in
line.
July, less than 1 million views every month. Look at July last year. 4.6 million, 3.2 million, 2.2 million, 3.7 million. This year, 700,000. 25%. And it's not anything that they did. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
If anything, it's that they didn't do something. That's the reality of it. It's not that they did something to cause this. It's that they didn't do something, meaning they didn't see what was on the horizon. We've been trying to tell these guys, the content that I make and the content that people on the showcast make and anybody adjacent to this community, we saw this coming a mile away. But we're the ops, right? We're the ops, so they don't want to listen to us. A lot of you guys out there see us as the ops. You don't want to listen to us. And I've been saying from the get-go that you don't have to like me. You don't have to watch my content. You don't even have to support my channel if you're not into what I'm into. But you can't deny that what I'm saying is real and true. And here we have someone who actually makes this content for a living, has employees, that it has to know this stuff. You have this happening, and he's telling you the truth. Now, again, there is a response video from Geeks and Gamers, which we will talk about in another video. But I can promise you that what he's telling you here and what he's showing you is reality. So when we get to their video, whatever their response to this is, the one thing they cannot do is deny that these are the facts. Now, I haven't seen the video yet. I do know it exists. I haven't seen it. But to poo-poo on Social Blade that's pulling analytics from YouTube and pretend like that's not real, unless you're going to show your math, unless you're going to show your receipts, I'm going to assume that you're just lying about it. And I don't think they will. They could. It's possible. I don't think they will. Let's continue.
Not that, like, Geeks and Gamers fell off, or Nerdrotic fell off, or the quartering fell off. It's that...
But you did, though. That's the thing. Your inability to change is your fault, right? You didn't actively do something to cause the fall off, but the fall off happened because you didn't do anything. So it is your fault. It's still your fault.
This topic, like this culture war stuff, you're looking at flawed metrics. No, I'm not. I'm looking at perfectly, very, very good metrics that would stand up in the court of the law, simply because it would show a relation. If the social blade data is wrong, if social blade data is wrong, then it's wrong by the same percent for everybody.
Exactly. So if you're looking at it and it's incorrect for one channel, it's incorrect for all channels because they pull the information from the same source.
Statistics, data analysis, this is what I do. YouTube stopped counting ad blocked viewers. That's not true.
He's right.
The culture war content is basically dead.
Yep.
Like, you can't put out a video anymore and be like, oh, look at this woke Marvel movie. Your data set is too limited. No, it's not. 2 years of data on the biggest multiple. I mean, I could pull up 100 YouTube channels.
I did like 3, I think I did 3, sometimes 4 years worth of data that shows the same thing. So he's right. It's, even though they might be coping in the chat and seething and going, oh, it's too limited. The truth is it's still right. He's still accurate on this.
In this space and show you that the trend is true for all of them.
It is.
Nerdrotic, arguably the biggest channel in this space, has 40% of their views last year. Geeks and Gamers, 40% of their views last year. Me, 40% of my views last year. That's 6-7 million combined subscribers. Mm-hmm. Where are the viewers going? They're just not. It's not that. It's what happens is
he's going to struggle a little bit here, I believe, because he doesn't want to admit the reality, which is that a lot of this was manufactured. A lot of it wasn't real, because then he would have to admit that his issue with manufactured hype also was misdirected, you know. But it was a lot of manufactured bullshit going on. But he's not going to admit that. Maybe he will. I haven't watched this far in the video. Maybe he will admit it, but I don't think he will.
I think I've got a pretty good plan for 2026 for content, because that's the exact question I talked about. It's not that like Nerdrotic's content is any worse.
It's the same.
It's just that nobody gives a shit about, you know, the Mandalorian sucking anymore.
Right. True.
The views from live streams and views from videos are combined in that. It's all the same. Don't question me on analytics, boys. It's very, very, it's just that nobody gives a shit. Like a year ago, we were talking about the Lord of the Rings, right? Like the Lord of the Rings, you know, woke Lord of the Rings. No one gives a shit about that. You know, it's just cooked.
See, the reality here, when he goes, nobody gives a shit about it, this is one of those times where it actually does make sense saying this. Because when he says it, he means in the context of people watching their videos. Like, their viewers don't give a shit about that anymore. And this is real. Like, it's a real don't give a shit about it. It's not like them saying, nobody cares about this TV show that's going to get me millions of views on YouTube because people actually do care. That's not what he's saying here. He's saying that their viewers don't care about it anymore. That's a true statement.
People have either, there's some percentage of people, like I break it down like this. There's some percentage of people that have just checked out.
Yes, that's true.
For now. You know, they'll be back in like in springtime.
No, I don't think that's real. You know, it's possible that some of the channels will see a resurgence of people that come back in springtime, but if people are done with the culture war shit, they're not going to come back in the springtime and just start watching videos again. So I don't know what like percentage or demographic that he's talking about there, but I just don't see that. He could be right. I'm not going to say he's a liar on that. I don't see it.
You know, but like, I would say maybe let's say total views are down about 50%.
Yes.
I just think that like 20 to 25% of people have just checked out for now. Some percentage of them will come back. Like once the kids go back to school and college and stuff like that, people will come back.
Except you've admitted that December was your worst, right? I think that's what he said. Maybe I'm just kind of roughly quoting him here, right? Worst month for him. There's no way on earth that you can have a random December that is worse than any other month of the year unless there's a major shift. It just doesn't make sense. December's always going to be better than almost any of your other months. You know, I would say, okay, October, November, December, that group of months, right? It's almost always going to be better. If you have one that's bad and it's the first one you've had in a decade, that doesn't show a temporary shift in viewership. That shows what I think is a permanent shift in viewership, to be quite honest.
But like, how many times can you make the same video about like
true
canceling Netflix?
True.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like everybody who's watching this video already knows Netflix is woke shit. So like, how long can you ride?
That's hyperbole. It's like, I didn't say I was doing a lot of debunking, but yeah, that's garbage. But whatever. He's like, oh, they know it's woke shit, but you know, bro, you're talking about your own perspective, not everybody's perspective.
That now, some channels will understand what I understand, and that is the need to pivot. Other channels, the vast majority of them, will ride what got them to where they are until it's completely burnt out.
Yep.
Gruff says Jeremy knows the numbers. Yeah. Well, you don't stay where I'm at, like on YouTube, as long as I have. If you don't follow trends and understand what's going on. If you look at like, why is Nick Fuentes so popular right now? It's because more people than ever have taken the black pill. And if you don't understand why they've done that, then you don't understand the trend in content. Now, does that mean I'm going to make black pill content? No. But it is worth understanding why maybe 5-10% of my audience doesn't really give a shit about the culture war anymore because they're so distraught about nothing ever getting done. Like, you have to figure out how to speak to those people.
So the reason why, gosh, this is like, again, total validation. Problem-centric content, which is what these guys do. They do outrage problem-centric content, which is content that is entirely based on being mad about something and then never providing any solution for it. And they burned out their audience on that. The audience for that is thinned out. The herd is thin. And now they're looking for content creators that are offering solutions to all the problems that they're experiencing. And this is what's happening with a lot of the audience that's going over to like a Nick Fuentes or whatever. These are people that are offering a pathway to some sort of solution, Now, of course, anybody that watches my content or content like mine with a brain understands that Nick Fuentes is all bullshit. But it doesn't matter because he's selling his audience a solution. These guys have no solutions. That's where their audience is moving on.
You know, some of the people that used to care about Marvel are like, I don't care about that anymore. Maybe I'm going to watch true crime stuff, or I'm going to watch retro video game stuff that is like, you can only log on to YouTube and make yourself mad about the thing you love so much.
Holy shit. It's almost like that's what we have been screaming at you guys for years now. For years. So they're tuning in to stuff they actually want to watch instead of watching you guys tell them to be mad at stuff they don't want to watch anymore. Holy shit. Mind blown. Watch stuff that you want to watch and stop listening to guys that are telling you to hate everything. That's a crazy, crazy concept.
Here's the truth, and I'm going to get to this Joe Rogan video next. I have limited time today. J-Ho for 20 says, a lot of people spent their time before Christmas break just complaining about Candace. Most of us normies see her as the crazy grifter she is. Another reason why I choose to watch you. Yep, that's a big part of it too. I just think that what people are interested in putting. Oh, this is what I was going to say. If the cottage industry, this is the only hint I'll give my competitors who are going to probably ride the Marvel is bad train into obscurity. If your entire business model is telling everybody how much everything sucks, okay?
Is he getting it? Is quartering actually stumbling in to something? Because again, we have been saying this for a long time, for years. And now you're finally getting it. You're finally understanding. Is he stumbling into this?
Don't you think that eventually those people are going to tune out? Right? If your entire channel is built on saying Netflix sucks, this sucks, whatever, you know? It's like, well, why are they going to keep tuning in over and over again when a new Marvel movie comes out for you to say that the Marvel movie
exactly
sucks? It's actually, there's actually a expiration date on that entire cottage industry of making content. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, you can only grind people down so much, and then they're going to be like, oh, there's another movie about Marvel? Well, I already agree that it's going to suck. Why do I want to watch that?
Again, mind-blowing concept here, right? You know? Mind-blowing.
Oh, it's another company that got woke? Yeah, I know, they're all woke.
Treading the...
Tell me something
they're finally treading the water now.
Actually, if you don't actually, like, take a minute to, like, understand that and figure out what the next thing is, and for many people, it's the black pill. For many people, it's more like hard politics. And for many people, it's actually taking your stuff out altogether. Like, just, I don't want to hear or talk about Marvel anymore.
Right.
You have to find a way to, like, still reach those people. Yeah, I don't want news and social media to have the power to make me angry every day. That's another thing too, right? Like, people are just like, yo, I don't want to be like, I'm not trying to log on here to get pissed off every day. People are starting to...
I think it's really interesting that we said this, again, years ago, and you guys didn't listen to us. And I mean, everybody in this space that kept fighting for this. We kept saying that it's the end of the line. You're hitting the ceiling on this. But I guess until one of them actually says it, it's like, fuck us, right? We're fucking liars.
Watch, like, more like brain rot content, funny content, apolitical content.
Holy shit.
So you can either keep making the videos about woke Hollywood, or you can get off your ass and figure out what your audience is watching now.
Yeah. Because
half my audience didn't die, you know?
Well, there was a lot of fakeness in half that audience. I still believe, based on a 60% decrease in overall, like, engagement, that's not realistic. There's some fake shit going on there.
It's just they don't want to watch another video about. They don't want to watch another live stream about another Hollywood thing.
Eventually.
Trying to, add some variety. I've got a plan. I don't want to give it away. I think there's going to be a type of content that's really, really popular this year, and I'm, working on having that. But let's get back to stuff.
All right. Let's pause the video there for Katie Dead. Yeah, shout out to Katie Dead for the clip. If you want to go watch the whole thing yourself, please go over and do that. I mean, I don't really have much to add to that other than the fact that this is total validation. Everything he said in this video is stuff that we saw coming. I saw it. A lot of people in my space saw it. There was a ceiling for this content, and they were getting closer and closer to it as the elections came around in 2024. Now, there's some people that got more extreme, and they've continued to grow the more extreme they become. And there's others that just don't feel comfortable doing that because they're in it for the money and they don't want to like turn themselves into some fucking piece of shit. And they're not going to do that. So I don't have much else to add to it. Quartering is actually right about pretty much all of the information he's providing here. Of course, the subjective stuff is obviously bullshit, but the information he's providing about the culture war stuff is true, it is accurate, and it's real. Now, you want to make sure you hit subscribe, turn notifications on. We're going to watch a follow-up video for this later today in the evening, so you don't want to miss that video. It's going to be Geeks and Gamers, I believe, their response to the quartering. So we'll get that video out later today. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.